You know, it's fucking hard to start off a video sometimes. One moment you want to start off with a joke, and the other you want to play things completely straight. Well, this time I didn't know what the fuck to do, so fuck you all, this is the beginning. So y'all know how most anime/shows nowadays have the happy-go-lucky character that starts off optimistic and joyful, only to be broken by the world they live in because the real life is a bitch and you can't escape it by watching cartoons, you shut in. Well, I decided to take two of these characters and compare them to see which one is the better protagonist. Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia, or Ruby Rose from the show Ruby. With a W, because it would have been too on the nose to name our show after the main character. Now, despite what you may be thinking, these two are very similar and quite the opposites of each other. So I'm gonna compare the both of them to see which is the superior character. Side note, I am not a fan of either of them as characters. In fact, I think both of them are the least interesting part of their respective shows. So consider that going forward. Alright, so how the fuck am I gonna judge this? Simple. 5 categories, 5 points, whoever gets the most amount of points wins. Let's begin. Deku and Ruby are similar in the fact that the two of them are goody two-shoes. They are both altruistic, want to make the world a better place, and throw caution to the wind for the sake of others, even though they're supposed to be genius tacticians. Deku's more of a social nerd who stays up all night studying hero techniques and jerking off. Ruby is a loud annoying brat who has trust issues due to everyone in her show being a fucking liar. Both grew a bit since the beginning of their shows, but I'm giving this point to Deku. 1 because he isn't as annoying as Ruby, and 2 because he isn't as egocentric as Ruby.
We're the best huntsmen in Atlas.
You were. Then you trained us.
Bitch, are you for real?
Both are good kids. They love their friends and family and do whatever it takes to save others. Deku is more supportive than Ruby, in that he talks to whoever needs help and does it with the intention of them becoming better. Which, in the long run, is more effective than just doing whatever the hell Ruby does. Point to Deku. Both of them save people all the time. Whether it's from giant monsters or invasions of villains, they are pretty equal in that regard. It's a tie. Now this will be the fun part of the video, because I want to know which of these teenagers will kill the other. I get to play Death Battle, but with less cringy character interactions and less bad analysis. Also, I ain't power scaling shit because at the end of the day, who the fuck cares, it's just a big number. So, let's look at the facts. Deku is clearly stronger than Ruby. He is smarter and fights one-on-one more than Ruby, who usually has a whole posse of people to help her out. He is better at hand-to-hand combat and has more pain tolerance. Seriously, there are 2 whole seasons of the kid breaking his bones and keep on fighting. Deku also has more powers than Ruby, because on top of One for All, he has 7 more quirks he hasn't quite unlocked yet. In the weaknesses department, if he overdoes it with his powers, he will basically ruin his body. However, Ruby is more experienced than Deku. She is faster, has a giant weapon, and is more resilient due to her aura/magic shield thing. She also has silver eyes, which are basically eye lasers that kill Grim and only Grim. Though it could be used to blind an opponent, I guess. On the weaknesses, we got her personality that usually gets her in trouble for not planning ahead, and she usually needs help from others to make her strategies work. Frankly, it's kind of hard to determine who'd take the win, so for now I'm leaving this as a tie. Izuku will not grow much as a character going forward, and that's due to him having a flat character arc. For those who don't know, a flat character arc is one where the character already has his ideals set from the get-go. If anything, Deku will adjust his views to help those around him, which is fine, but kinda stunts his growth as a character. Ruby, on the other hand, has grown quite a bit since her first appearance. Going from happy and excitable to an emotionally abused person. Her mentors and people who she looked up to kept lying to her and quite frankly left her with very understandable trust issues. She's still a good kid who wants to do the right thing, but man, life isn't just playing around and killing Grim like she thought. Point to Ruby. And so, with 2 ties and 2 points, Deku takes the win over Ruby. Let me say again that I'm not a fan of either of them. In fact, my favorite characters from each show are on the screen right now. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you also think Weiss is the best girl?
It was worth it.
Tell me what you think in the comments. I always read them. Next video, we're talking Halloween. Like 6 months in advance, too. And with all this said, this has been Serum Blaster, and I'll see you all next time.